Great series by TLO, advancing on to the winner's bracket, but now we have game number 2 to determine who shall join him there. As we have our 2 Koreans representing, it's going to be MMA playing against TAiLS, MVP going up against Acer, and both of these players are looking for some good WCS points here.
Lucky that we don't have TAiLS' new haircut. Hey, Kalaris on the screen right now. But TAiLS, originally, he just was, I'd like to say, just another Protoss player in Team MVP when he first was in the ranks. I think he was really overshadowed by Genius, more importantly, and Dongregoo, other big names originally in MVP. But he's such a creative player who was able to really put his name out there in the GSTL playoffs in Season 1. I think it's the first GSTL back in 2011 when MVP were losing against IM 4-3. And then TAiLS came back to beat MVP and Nesty when nobody believed it was possible, to give his team the win, to push him actually into the semifinals, and then to win the entire thing. He was a crucial part of that GSTL winning MVP team. 2012, though, had a bit of a slower year, I'd like to say. Was only in Code A twice out of 5 times throughout the year, and every time he instantly dropped back out. Not such a successful year in 2012, but in 2013, he is attempting a fresh start, which is why he's, as you can see, attempting to transition into the European competition.
Yeah, had a bit of a rocky road trying to qualify for Premier, but now he is here. And then we have our second player, Mr. MMA, a player that has had great highs, but as of late has also had great lows. He is also trying to make a bit of a name for himself in this European scene.
Oh man, he's trying to rename himself, like give him, another name to bring him back to who he used to be. Because originally, I think he was the very first recruit that Slayers Boxers made to the team Slayers. The very first one. He was that guy. He got nicknamed immediately after the son of Boxer. Through guidance with Boxer, he was able to win so many different tournaments. He's a GSL champion. He won Iron Squid, won MLG, won IEM, like everything. He won so many different tournaments. But recently is not the same guy he used to be. It's very simple. It's very clear. He's not been performing. Kind of around the same time that Slayers disbanded was the same time that MMA saw a major drop in results. I think his last major result was a top 4 finish at IPL 4 in April 2012. It was the last time he got anything higher than a round of 32 or round of 16. That's a long time ago. He did finish, though, in the round of 16 in the Season 1 Premier League, but people expected him to get further.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a disappointing Season 1 for him. He's looking to attain much higher heights here in Season 2. But coming to this game, just MMA against TAiLS, TAiLS is going to have a tough time here against MMA. TAiLS' weakest matchup is his PVT, undoubtedly. Like 39% win ratio in Heart of the Swarm right now. Whereas MMA, last season, we saw him going up against Mana, of all people, and he crushed him. He completely snapped Mana. And in round 32 here, TAiLS is going to have a really, really hard time, I feel.
That's right. One of the players is currently AFK, so we'll just bear with us 1 second while we get that ready. But talking about TAiLS, as you do say, in the start of Heart of the Swarm, he did start to poke up with fame a little bit, especially when there was that Team Liquid article written about him on his Templar drop play with the really fast robotics facility and Twilight Council at the same time for a DT drop that happened, I think it's around 7 minutes, I think it was. Really, really early on. That really surprised a lot of Terran players. But since that time, Terran players have adjusted and fine-tuned their timings against Oracle play, the DT drop play. They're all on top of these timings. So these creative builds do not work anymore, which is why we've seen the really plummet of results against Terran players for TAiLS. And he's going to have to bring, I'd say, a solid game today to be able to beat MMA. He can't rely on anything cheeky, because MMA, I don't think, is going to get cheesed out too easily. MMA has an early engineering bait almost every game. He always gets that +1 attack. He gets that turret down nice and easily. MMA, I think, should be moving through, and I'd like to say on a 70-30 basis against TAiLS here.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for poor little TAiLS, but we'll see. As again, we have to go back to the fact that MMA's TVP, his macro games, are so strong, really, really strong. I don't normally like saying he's so strong, but all you have to do is honestly go back to see MMA versus Mana, where Mana got kind of steamrolled. If you allow a player like MMA to go for his macro in this matchup, then you are going to have a really, really hard time keeping up with the supply count that he can attain very, very quickly. But to that point, how do you shut him down when he is so solid early on?
Yeah, that's one of the problems. It's really going to rely on if MMA is playing well, because if he is, he can live up to the heights of other Terran players ahead of him, such as the Flash, the Innovation, these guys at the top. If he plays at a good speed and a good level, anything's possible from MMA. But on the bio of MMA, I just like to bring a point back from that, is that he has improved in results recently since his round of 16 finish in Season 1.
Yeah.
In the Acer Team Story Cup, he has always played. And he has got a good win record. I can't remember the stats exactly. It was something like 14-3. Yeah, 14 wins to 3 losses in his last 17 games. Good at math on camera. And that, you know, is impressive, especially because the quality of plays he's playing and playing cross-server, because a lot of the time he's been in Korea recently, you know, it makes sense.
Yep, some very, very impressive games there now as we go into game number 1 in this series. And spawning up to the top right-hand corner as our blue Protoss, we have MVP TAiLS. And spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner as our red Terran, we have Mr. Acer MMA.
All right, MMA versus TAiLS. Game 1 is beginning right here. Let's find out who's going to be able to take this game. I don't know. Okay, I do know. Why did I don't know why I said I don't know. That was silly of me. That was silly of me. 70-30 in favor of MMA here.
Yeah, he's got a very, very good shot here. TAiLS, you were saying that he has to play a fully straight-up game here. Neoplanet S will be our first map, and then I believe we'll be going to Newkirk and then Belshire.
Look at this, 8 gateway. Already.
Whoa.
I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah,
because the map's not important, but 8 gateway. That's fast.
It's shenanigans.
That's really, really fast. It's going to be an 8 gas. He's going to have a very fast cyber core. And what we're going to see is pressure from the bat. And I said at the start, I don't think this is the way to beat MMA.
He's got to try it.
Am I going to be proved wrong? Because this is creative. This is cheeky. Well, I'm not going to say innovative because this has been used before. But this is how he's going to try and bring down MMA. Lots of early pressure really early on. In hope, ideally, of either a command center first, one barracks command center, or Reaper play. Reaper play is the one. Because obviously with a fast Stalker coming out, you're going to have a Reaper. What are you going to do against a Stalker?
I sort of don't mind this though from TAiLS, because going into a longer game against a player like MMA is going to be really, really difficult. So TAiLS, from the very word go, ramps it up. He goes for it. And he's going for a second barracks.
Now this can work better for him. Now it's the second barracks coming down. Because now he's going to have double the amount of Reaper production coming in. So when you go for a double amount of Reapers, and you can't afford it off one gas, he could beat the Zealot, he can beat the Stalker, he can beat the second Stalker. The one thing he can't beat too well, which is because we see a Zealot being thrown down, is probably going to be a Mothership core here early on.
Yeah.
From such an early, with going for the Zealot, if he wanted to spend his gas faster, it would have been wait, get Stalker really fast. But with a Mothership core coming down, the Stalker will follow it. That's the one thing this can't beat, is the Mothership core. Everything else will be beaten down. But imagine if he plays Ring Around the Rosie, kills the Zealot and Stalker, then goes back to the mineral line. He's going to keep TAiLS back.
Especially if he spots that Zealot early on. The Reaper is going to go out the opposite way, though, so the Zealot is going to cross over the map completely uncontested, completely unnoticed, whilst that Stalker follows up as well. This is a lot of pressure that TAiLS is going to be applying. Double Reaper production as well. He could lose all the probes in his mineral line and just be left with just a few units over the other side of the map.
Well, he is going to have a Stalker pop out just as the Reaper gets there, so that one could probably deal with that single Reaper. So I don't know, this is incredibly difficult. Both players playing aggressive. MMA needs to start Marine production or a bunker soon, or both.
Yeah, he does. This
but
is
he sees the
scary.
lack of probes.
Yeah.
He sees how little it is. He sees how fast these units are. He's going to see the Mothership core. He has neither Marines or a bunker down.
It's on the way now here, but that Stalker and Zealot could actually deny the building of that quite easily. He's going to lose a lot of SCVs if he wants to get that bunker up and running. Mothership core moves in as well, trying to attack the SCVs, but good repair here from MMA. He's not actually going to lose any SCVs if he keeps that repair up and running, but does one go down?
Needs the bunker.
All the Reapers actually coming back and converging on this location as well. The Stalker goes down. He only has a Zealot left here, and then from that point on, he only needs Marines to clean up the Mothership core, but another Stalker is on the way.
Yeah, the bunker's almost done. The bunker is almost done. When the bunker's done, the Stalker and any other unit behind it is rendered useless. The Mothership core, though, needs to go down. That's the next focus point. But SCVs shall fall before that Mothership core does.
And no more probes in production here from TAiLS, just to note. So from this point, he is pretty much all in with this. If he doesn't do a lot of damage, massive damage here, then there is no way he's going to be able to hold on. The Stalker is going to go down very fast anyway. The Reaper's gained a little bit more health once again. The few Marines trickling out. Another Stalker comes along, but he's got so many units to kill and a bunker still up.
The way that TAiLS win this game is if he kills enough SCVs to bring his probe count relevant. That's the only way he wins this game. And is he going to do that with a Mothership core this low? There's your answer, and there's the answer to wins this game. 24 supply to 14.
Bye-bye, Mothership Core. The Marine chases it away, and now the Reapers are on the way to punish exactly what TAiLS did. He's Chrono Boosting out Stalkers, so he may be able to hold on a little bit, but still, no probes in production. 8 against 18 SCVs.
Yeah, this is... I mean, look at it, man. Just look at the scenario that's been set present to TAiLS.
It's difficult. It's nigh on impossible. As the Mothership Core goes in again. To the Mothership Core's credit, has 10 kills right now. And Stalkers are still applying some more pressure. But MMA behind this throws down a second command center. He knows the position of power that he is currently in, and he knows that TAiLS is scrambling to find any way back in.
There's too many units out now. And with a command center coming down, that just shows his confidence to what's going on. The Reapers have gone at home.
There you go.
GG. MMA will take the first game here against TAiLS. And a slick defense from MMA.
Slick is certainly a word for it, and with that double barracks opener. Now, let's kind of theorize things, Sean. Okay. If he had have only had the one barracks, where do we stand?
I think he would have been in a bit more trouble. I really do believe it, because you can't really deal... I mean, Marines were coming out 2 by 2. He wouldn't have had that many Marines or that many Reapers to deal with the Stalker and Zealot that fast. I think he would have been in a lot more trouble. I think that was, I mean, when you open like TAiLS, the 3 builds that you aim to play against, Command Center first, Barracks Command Center, or a 12-12 Reaper play. It's okay to play against that because you can beat down a Reaper. What, you got 1 Reaper, maybe a second, maybe a Reactor that follows it. So I think that TAiLS was aiming to play against that, but just not the second barracks. That really helped MMA. And to a certain extent, it was a pretty classic build order loss. No reactions came in from either players. It was this build going up against this build. MMA's was better.
I feel that MMA played this game very, very smart, I would say, because, again, at the very beginning, TAiLS, with the lack of wealth of experience in going into this matchup in terms of strong performances, going up against a player like MMA is a very scary prospect. So what better to try and do than catch him off guard at the very beginning? But MMA, he's not going to be caught off guard so easily. Not
going to be caught off guard so easily, and you can't try to play tricky against MMA. I don't think that's the right way for TAiLS to approach this series. He's got to play straight up. And coming into the next map, I think that's how he's going to approach it. Depending on the map, is it Belshir Vestige?
I believe it might be Newkirk. It is Newkirk next. Okay. And the Belshir Vestige third if we have to go to it.
Okay, so Newkirk, you could see, if you wanted to do anything, any kind of cheese, I'd say Proxy Stargate was the one to go for, if not in your main base. Because it is kind of, you can get across from air to air quite fast. So in main base does count. If any kind of cheeky play, I'd say Stargate. If not, we're going to see a normal game, hopefully, from TAiLS.
And we're seeing Stargate actually a little bit more in this matchup, not necessarily because of Oracles, but also because you see a lot of drop play. And then Phoenix do come out. We even saw that today during WCS Korea.
That's right.
Which is, it's a pretty cool build. I like Phoenix openers, actually.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest named players to use Phoenix is from WCS America, Jim. The Chinese player. Jim Credible. Uses Phoenixes a lot. You know, they're very good harassing units. They're very good against a lot of the builds that have a factory early on from Terran players because you can stop the medivac. And that's the game that we saw earlier on in WCS Korea was...
first.
It was first. Yeah, first used it to bring down the medivacs before they went in, picking up the Hellbats and whatnot.
Scary
They're
stuff.
very good there. But the main real front of Phoenix play is because they can kill Vikings fast. They tank damage from Vikings if the Viking player isn't targeting down the Colossus easily. And then in combination with Stalkers, they're going to fall fast, allowing Colossus play to reign superiority here.
All right, we are joining into our second game here with MMA 1 game up. If you've only just tuned in, guys, this is Group C of the WCS Europe Premier League. We've already had TLO advance over Mana, and he is waiting his second opponent. It could be MMA. Imagine if we had TLO and MMA going up against one another as our first game.
I think that would be a very good Terran versus Zerg.
Oh, yeah.
I think it would be. TLO has shown some great form against Terran players recently. Just good form overall. So I'd like to see an MMA TLO game. I think everybody would. But we'll see. I think the player that deserves it the most should have the best chance, and that will be the player that wins the game.
Will be indeed. All right, so game number 2. We are just waiting for TAiLS to join the lobby. And may I have to take a short break briefly whilst we get into this game number 2. But he has confidence here. He goes into the second game knowing that his opponent is maybe a little bit scared of him after what he saw from game number 1. So TAiLS, do you think he plays a long, proper game?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And the main reason for that is that he worked so hard to get into Premier League.
He did.
If you look at his run in the qualifiers, he played in 3 out of the 4 Premier League qualifiers.
For season 1.
For season 1, and lost all 3. He then had to play the original Challenger League qualifier, lost. Played the second qualifier, and then just made it through, narrowly making it through, and only narrowly really making it into Premier League too. So, you know, now he's here. I think the most important part for him is to attempt to stay, to get the chance to advance through the group, to make it to the round of 16, to play for the option to keep Premier League status. That's the most important thing for him, I feel. And I don't think he'd risk it, you know, being down against MMA, knowing that he'd have to win 2 games straight in a row. Right. So I think he'd play normal.
Scary, scary
Let's
stuff.
Let's hope he plays normal.
Let's hope. As we do have, spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner here, as our blue Terran once again. Currently 1 game up, he is Acer MMA. And spawning up to the top right here, as our red Protoss, we have MVP TAiLS.
All right, so if we're going to see Stargate play, the map to do it. Across these airs, you can see both have spawned on the south side of this map. It's the only locations you can spawn in. Proxy Stargate can be in 2 locations. It's either going to be slightly east of MMA's base, which is a high ground base, or it can be slightly north above his natural. So if we look at the, you know, the clock of how the Koreans like to do it, I'd say 6:30 and 9:22. Those are the precise times of where
Did you say 9:22?
Exactly. It needs to be at 9:22. If it's 9:18 or 9:24, it's in danger of being scouted.
Yeah, it's gone, man. That's precise. That is very precise.
I'm an analytical caster. I try my best.
These are the things we look at as MMA now. He's throwing down his barracks, getting things going. And Mr. TAiLS, we'll see what he wants to do. Just adds on the gateway. Nothing too crazy just yet, but again, there's still a lot of room for him to kind of get that going later.
Luckily for viewers who are expecting good games, that was a 13 gateway, not an 8, which, you know, signifies to us that he's not trying to do anything aggressive early, and a 15 gas coming down as well. So he's not trying to rush out anything. A double 15 gas coming down. So with a double 15 gas coming in, it doesn't really mean anything when you see 2 gases coming in. It really depends on how many probes he puts to mine in there. If he mines from 3 really early, then he's going to increase his gas income to where he can tech. But on the other side of things,
Mr. MMA, he's doing exactly what he was doing last time. Wait, did he get his... Yes, he did get his gas. Okay, so it's going to be the double Reaper opening here again. And TAiLS, if he... Is he going to send a probe out and very, very quickly onto the map? No, not just yet.
Yeah, what? Okay, so the reason why he hasn't sent a probe out here, the main reason is because it's very difficult to afford the cybernetics core at a good time, the pylon at a good time. If you send out a probe early, that's money you're not mining. It's 40 minerals a minute every time a probe's missing. So he's gained that and is able to get everything very strict. And look, he's mining from 3 in each assimilator. If he doesn't tech up from this, he's going to have a lot of excess gas, whether that be for a lot of sentries early on or not. But the likelihood of him teching is kind of high, I'd say, at this point.
Especially with that pylon on the left-hand side as well. I feel that that's a little bit further over to his opponent's base. If he wants to throw down some tech, could certainly be over there. As we'll see in just a little bit as he is accumulating his minerals, getting that going. Reapers are on the way to have a little bit of a look around. And there's that Twilight Council.
And a Twilight Council coming down. The Reapers are going to see this really early. There's no way this Reaper's not spotting it.
Yeah, that's going to be very, very easy to have a little bit of a look around as that Mothership Core tries to deny, but I think he's already seen.
Already spotted it. Already spotted it. That easy. And upon seeing the Twilight Council at this stage, it's DT or Blink. It can be either. It depends on how he wants to play it out. Without a central... Oh, a robotics facility coming in. Okay, so it's like a DT drop play.
Yeah.
Really, really early on.
Yeah, well, if there was anything TAiLS was going to go for, why not his build?
Off 1 base here, so...
Slightly deviated. The original build was with expansion, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so
yeah, it was. I think it was like a 1-gate expand, straight Twilight Council, or at least maybe the faster version was Twilight Council before the expansion. But still, this is all off 1 base. You'll have to throw down gateways to support this attack as we see them coming down. But MMA has Reaper still alive, can easily poke back in. The key in stopping this, kill the Viking.
Kill the
Viking. Kill the Warp Prism. I said kill the Viking because I said that in a different cast. No, yeah, that was the Colossus play.
Yeah.
Kill the Vikings, like kill the Batman. But this time, it's kill the Warp Prism.
Yeah.
The Warp Prism must die. If the Warp Prism dies and he's locked up his front wall, which he has...
And he threw down a really, really early photon overcharge on his Nexus here with that Mothership core. So he's moving out to try and do some scouting whilst keeping some defense at home. The Reapers jump in and they're probably saying, wait a minute, photon overcharge already.
Ooh, picked off one Reaper already.
Yeah,
he's actually preventing scouting here. The Warp Prism's on its way. The thing is, does MMA realize?
Oh, well, he poked in and saw the Chrono Boost on the Robo facility.
He saw the Robo.
Yeah.
That's good enough to know. What the hell? A Robo? Okay. So now that the thing is, you need to put a bunker like in the middle of your production here is good enough. Actually, he's got one by his barracks. That's fine. But he needs to stop.
I think. Does he feel that it's like Immortals?
I put a bunker in my mineral line, man.
Yeah, I think he feels it's Immortal. Well, he's getting an engineering bay anyway because that's generally just what he ends up doing. And
he can't feel it's Immortals. Unless he's thinking upon the mind games, or he would have cancelled it and gone over to Robo.
Yeah.
This can work. This could...
Ooh.
Stop. Kill the Warp Prism.
Kill the Warp Prism. No, it doesn't get it in the end. Those Zealots are going to be able to tank quite a bit of damage here whilst he tries to snipe it on down. The ship will go down though first. Doesn't have any energy, so can't recall. He needs to... Oh, yes, he does need to scan. You're right.
DTs can beat Marines at this point.
Oh, how many units does he actually have? He has 8 Marines out with two Reapers as well, but I don't think he's going to be able to shut this down. The DTs are going absolutely to town. He just barely has some energy to scan there. Does throw one down, but the two Templars are going to move out of the position.
No turret, no energy. The Warp Prism did not die. TAiLS is going to take this game, man. TAiLS is going to take this game. These 3 DTs like this?
Yeah, he has no more energy to throw down a scan. He has no missile turret.
One energy there.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, he had the second one command center. But at the end, I mean, 3 DTs. Oh, they're still alive. Oh, walk back in.
We could have... Oh, he lost both.
He got the Warp Prism. There's 2 more DTs still left, though. There are 2 more DTs still left. No energy for a...
New Warp Prism, build a new Warp Prism.
He has energy for a scan. He can throw it down. He throws it down. Does he get the second DT as well?
No.
Oh.
No energy for 3, 2... Energy in a minute.
This is really well timed out by him.
But still, 9 SCVs to 22. TAiLS has got a big advantage here. There's the Warp Prism being built. And there's the DT gone. So now this is this is MMA's kind of freedom.
Yeah.
But still, it's a lot of energy used. 8 SCVs to 22 probes.
Whoa, yeah, the fact that he only has 8 SCVs right now. That being said, double command center, double the mulage if he can go for it. But don't DTs now allow him to either force out a lot of scans in the middle of the map or at least control the middle of the map whilst he gets himself in an even better position?
Yeah. I mean, right now in the middle of the map, these Reapers are, I mean, you got Marines chasing Stalkers, Reapers chasing Stalkers. That's a nifty army, but 1 DT per time, considering he doesn't have that much gas though, right? He's been warping a lot of Stalkers because he's realized the threat is these units in the middle of the map here, which with pure Stalkers, if you ignore DTs, forget scans, man. If scans is going to be your weapon against DTs, don't build DTs.
Yeah. Scary stuff. Oh, Warp Prism tries to warp in the main base as well. The 4 Marines, are they going to bring it down in time? No, they don't. The 4 Zealots warp in, and TAiLS here is doing pretty well in game number 2, trying to even things up here with MMA.
I'd make a Mothership core at home and leave that at home to defend with the photon overcharge and just win with everything else, man. Yeah,
the Stalkers come up as well to try and do some damage. The SCVs pulled off the line, trying to keep MMA in this game, but with those going down, there's 5 left. These Zealots trying to do the damage as well. The Marines should technically be able to clean all of this up, but behind it, with the economy that TAiLS has, he's looking pretty.
TAiLS has got now 22 probes to 5 SCVs. If this was MVP, the game is not over yet. But it's not MVP, it's MMA, and this comeback is going to be... If he comes back from this position, I'll eat another Teemo hat.
Wait, there's not enough Teemo hats in the world for you to eat.
I'll eat another one if he comes back from this position.
All right,
I'm changing the deal.
Changing the deal.
If he comes back from this position, Total Biscuit, I'm coming for your hat.
Didn't he get rid of it?
Coming for his top hat.
Didn't he get rid of it?
I'll find the person that has it, and I'll take it and I'll eat it.
Fantastic.
There is no way that MMA can come back from this. Is too big.
That's a big, tough hat, man.
If he comes back, man, I'm eating that hat. I'm going to find it.
Well, Stalkers poke up. The Marines will fend them off for now, and TAiLS... He's bringing... That's a lot of Stalkers.
8 Stalkers
I think
to
you might
8
be
Marines.
safe. I think you might be safe, Follow.
I realized that the hat wasn't in Total Biscuit's possession, which is why I made this safe bet.
Well, we still have to find the person. It'll be fine.
Oh, look, that mine. Such a sad mine.
Oh, poor little guy.
All right, these Stalkers are going to be such a problem to deal with. And there are only more being built. He's finally got a pile on the other side of the map, so he can actually warp in 3 more Stalkers. 4 more Stalkers.
I'm kind of content that TAiLS didn't say, I'm going to expand off this, because I don't think he really needs to too much.
He could expand, but finishing it with the advantage that he has is probably the right decision he's going for. The Observer's picking off the mines. There's only Marines. There's no Marauders. The first one's being built. He's going to get supply. Yeah, exactly.
And Mr. TAiLS looking all right in game number 2. The Stalkers playing it slowly, but very, very safely here. Marauder, one Marauder. Will you be able to take on that many Stalkers? I don't know. Don't think so.
I'd spare 150 gas and research Blink to 100% get the win.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can just warp in 4 more Stalkers and get it that way. I mean, it doesn't matter, man.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter. He can do anything. And I keep getting squeaky. I'm sorry for getting squeaky. It's because I love StarCraft.
Yeah. That's how
it's a
perfectly
reasonable excuse.
Throws down the scan as well, just in case there's any Dark Templars there. Tries to go for the kill. Marine's not doing too badly here with Stim. But there you go. GG for game number 2. TAiLS will tie up the series. And now, going on to game number 3, do we see more shenaniganry from TAiLS?
TAiLS, game 1, 8 gateway into early gateway pressure, which failed into a 1-base DT drop, which was scouted. He saw the original Twilight Cancel. He then saw the Robo behind it. I think that he should have. I mean, we look at the game as a map packer.
Yep.
We are not map packers, but we looked at it in that way as an observer. I probably say that MMA was still expecting it, but there is a potential play that he thought it was going to be a Blink play, and then saw the Robo and was like, okay, he switched up, maybe. But whatever the case is, MMA did scout it, didn't defend it.
Not reading too well, Mr. TAiLS. Almost, yeah. Almost in the end. Almost got it, but so many DTs, so many Zealots there. Game number 3 will be on Belshir Vestige to close out the series to determine who advances on to play TLO and who falls down to play Mana.
That's right. That's what's on the line here. And I think that MMA is definitely gunning for the round of 16. If he, in Season 1, gets the round of 16 and then gets the round of 32 in Season 2, rest in peace, the son of Boxer.
He's gone.
But he's gone. But if he's able to get through today, then he can definitely come back. May not be able to live up to his heights that he used to have now, but definitely along the lines. If he does well this season, there is still the chance he could get high enough WCS points, even though he's like roughly 60.
Yeah.
For example, if he was to win WCS Europe Premier League this season, then do well at Season 1 finals, do well in Season 3, definitely possible for him to make it top 16, which is where then the true resurrection is in place.
Yeah. And technically, if MMA does end up losing this game, then falling down to play Mana would mean a rematch from the round of 32 in Season 1, which is quite odd, actually. I don't think we have too many players that met each other in both seasons in the round of 32. So that'd be a little bit of a treat.
Statman Clara's got to find that one out for tomorrow.
That's true. I do. All right. So Belshir Vestige is our map number 3 as we jump on in. And we do have spawning up to the top left-hand corner as our blue Terran. He is Acer MMA. And spawning down to the bottom right as our red Protoss, we have Mr. MVP TAiLS.
All right, let's see if he can bring back form of old. Both players, in all honesty, had their highlights in 2011, but it is 2013.
Long time.
And there's an 8 pylon. God damn it, TAiLS.
Is he really doing it again?
Yes.
Oh, well, this will be...
That was a very stubborn yes.
Yes. Oh, well.
So 8 gateway, 8 assimilator, same build as game 1. Hoping now... Okay, so to be honest, I don't mind it that much. Because his thought process here is I hope to God you do not build those 2 racks again, man.
I think he's gonna, though.
You best not do that again. And if he does, then we have the same scenario as game 1.
I think he will. I sort of do. I mean, MMA, after game number 1 and game number 2, sees that his opponent has aggression on his mind, right?
But what happens if MMA's like, he's not going to be aggressive 3 games in a row. He's going to try and just take his normal expansion. And if I take 2 barracks and don't do damage, then I'll fall behind economically.
I mean,
and it's a 30. He's up to 13 supply. It's not 12-12. It's not the Reaper build.
Yeah.
And if he goes 1 barracks command center, TAiLS in a terrific war of mind games, may be victorious.
Huh?
And that's what it really comes down to at this point in game 3. Mind games. Hashtag mind games.
Hashtag mind games, man. The stats for this, I mean, don't necessarily reflect it. It was a tall order for TAiLS to take this, but if he can make this aggression work, he is in a great position to actually make this happen. And MMA now, he's sending his scout out. He's going to see the lack of probes, and he has to take precautions from there.
So I think the build, precisely what TAiLS is doing, is 8 Pylon, 8 Gateway, 8 the Simulator, 10 Savnet Skull for anyone wanting to try that at home. And then with the Zealot, puts it up to 12. But MMA is going to see this. And then what his plan should be upon seeing it now is just build the command center inside the main base, not on the low ground, and bunker the ramp. If the Zealot and Stalker can't make it way past the supply depot and a ramp behind it, the Marines, a couple in the bunker, and then Marines defending against the Mothership core that may come in the mineral line here. I think I don't know because I don't play this build, but I'm just kind of theory crafting it, right?
Yeah, it's a tricky little build.
Okay, I think. He throws down a couple of extra barracks. As long as he has the problem. Zealot and Stalker run past the bunker.
Yeah.
So ideally, we'd like to have supply depots in the wall off here.
Exactly.
Or maybe the barracks lifting up and coming down would be another great scenario, because that's the problem, I think, with having the bunker there. It needs to have a wall. Because then you only need 2 Marines in the bunker.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that he didn't place them in the wall. After game number 1 and 2, I mean, yeah, it's saying you're not going to go for aggression 3 times in a row, but not having them there, that's a tricky thing to deal with here. And MMA, for now,
he has to wall this. Like his supply depot.
Yeah.
He's not walling it.
He has 3 Marines, and that's
so the Mothership core will come into the main base, the Zealot and Stalker will run past, and then they'll meet together as one. And that's where it becomes difficult.
This is looking really, really scary for MMA here. He's throwing down a 3rd barracks as well, but that 2nd one is nowhere near completion. The Marines, there you go, he just runs straight on past. And now, 4 Marines, well, the SCVs are going to help out quite a lot as well. The Zealot did die quite prematurely, didn't do that much damage. Time Warp as well to try and slow those Marines down from pursuing the Mothership core, pursuing that Stalker, but the SCVs are doing pretty well for themselves.
And now the Marines kill the Stalker, and they're going to kill the Mothership core.
That's it. I think that's it.
Kalaris?
What?
Kalaris?
Yes?
The game may be over, guys. This is not a good position to be in.
No.
Any Pro Rush players, I wouldn't recommend this build.
The SCVs
here, in this circumstance.
You wouldn't recommend this build if you meet MMA on the ladder, is basically what we're saying.
I think TAiLS was hoping that would go a little bit better than it did.
Yeah, kind of.
A little bit better than that.
And he had a better position than he normally would have. There you go, GG. But there was no wall off. There was no wall off. So he took the opportunity to run past. SCVs did all right for themselves in the end.
Oops. Yeah, that didn't work. And unfortunately for TAiLS, he falls down to the loser match and will face off against Mana in a PvP. That's going to be a good game for sure.
Yep.
But more importantly, MMA is the one that moves through and will play TLO in the winners match, man.
Will TLO be able to slay another Korean Terran?
Yes.
Yes. We shall see.
So.
We shall see here in just a bit.
But yeah, that build, I really believe that TAiLS thought that would work better than it did, because those are the 3 builds, like I mentioned, Reaper play, 1 barracks, Command Center first, that they would probably work well against.
I would have loved to have seen a Stargate, actually, if I'm honest. In that last map especially, I would have loved to have seen a Stargate.
Yeah. Unfortunately for TAiLS, 3 aggressive builds in a row, only 1 worked.
Yeah, so that concludes our first round of games here for Group C. Join us after the break, guys, when we shall have our winners match. It's going to be TLO going up against MMA to find out who advances on to the round of 16.